Hi everyone, I'm Lisa Lee, and today I'd like to share 3 tips to help you with your online store. So whether you're just starting out or you already have an online store and you're struggling to get sales, I hope these 3 tips will help you. So tip number 1, set realistic expectations. I cannot stress this enough. Be realistic. Just because you have an online store does not mean you're going to suddenly start getting sales. It's a lot of work. And if you want to save yourself a lot of time and effort later, do your research. Understand your market, understand who you're targeting. Don't just say, I'm targeting everybody of every demographic. No, that's not the truth. In reality, you're actually targeting a segment of the population. They may be in a particular country, they may be in a particular area, they may be a particular set of ages. They might tend to be a particular gender. Um, they might be a part of a particular income bracket. So you're not targeting everybody. So don't just assume, that if you just target everybody, you'll get everybody. It doesn't work that way. That's just the way it works. Um, you also need to have an understanding of seasonal trends. Uh, because the demand for your products might change throughout the year. It really kind of depends. And even if the product may be usable throughout the year, there may be just different buying trends for that particular product, and it can change year to year. So one year may be different from the next. And so you have to have some kind of understanding of what to expect before you really dive into this. If you already have a store, you can still benefit from doing this research so that you can tailor your store and your products and what you have to offer to your real target demographic. Okay, so the next thing about uh, setting realistic expectations you need to have is to expect low conversion rates. So just because someone visits your website does not mean that they are willing and ready to buy. They may be just browsing. They might be a competitor. They might be a scammer. There's all kinds of reasons someone may visit your website, and it may not be to buy from you. That's the unfortunate truth. And the analytics, too, I want to point out, for any kind of tool, be it advertising, be it social media, be it website analytics, they tend to have a degree of inaccuracy because it may be counting certain activity that may not actually be a human. It could be a bot, it could be a scammer, and whatever. It could be just someone, running a script and stuff, and it checks your websites and stuff like that, which is basically bot activity. Um, but I mean, it could be like a website crawler, like the search engines, you know, will visit certain websites just to get information off of it. Um, so I mean, there's different things that it's not going to account for, and sometimes they may not count actually real visits. It just depends on the device and all kinds of different things. So don't expect the analytics to be 100% accurate because they are far from it. Social media analytics can tend to be inflated in some cases, or just inaccurate. It might be under, counting. Um, so set some, expectations of, okay, I'm getting likes, I'm getting visits or something like that. I'm not getting any sales. Well, there could be a number of things wrong, with that. But generally speaking, across industries, I would say the average conversion rate is somewhere between 0 and 3%. It's not, don't take my word for this being across every instance and stuff. There are exceptions. There are some variations with industries. There's all kinds of different things to factor in, but just generally speaking, if you open a shop, say tomorrow, and you start trying to sell stuff, expect a low conversion rate. There's all kinds of things that can lead up to that, for why, it would be low. Uh, but for most cases, it's just low. And so you need to make sure that you have a budget, that factors in, you know, that you may not get sales right away, or your sales may be very small. Um, and so, you know, when you open a store or any kind of business and stuff, there's challenges. And so if you do that research, you do that effort to understand what those things are and be able to set up a plan for how to counter some of those things and, improve your chances, it will go a long way. So that's what I would say for setting realistic expectations. Tip number 2: post quality content on social media. So if you are wanting to post about your product and advertise your business on social media and, advertise sales and those kinds of things, what you may tend to find is that your organic reach, what that means is that you're not paying an ad on social media, you're just posting on social media. Your organic reach is going to be very low. Um, so, versus the number of people that are constantly on social media, the number of people who actually see your post is going to be low because the social media platforms are incentivized, okay, to encourage you to give them money to advertise your post, okay, to promote it so that more people will see it, which just increases the odds that they might buy from you, okay? So, understanding that, if you're going to focus on free promotional type of methods, your best bet is probably to post on alternative social media platforms, but it's going to depend on where your target demographic is. If they aren't on those alternative platforms, then you're not going to get anywhere. But the alternative platforms tend to have a higher reach, for organic posts, where you can post something, it will more likely be seen by more people. It just depends on the platform, of course, and all kinds of things, and the topic and stuff like that. But there's less competition on the alternative media sites. If you post, say, on Facebook or Twitter, X, those tend to have a significantly smaller organic reach than, say, the alternative media sites. So, like the alternative social media sites like Gab, Getter, Rumble, uh, different ones like that. There's a bunch. Okay, so, but these alternatives also have a smaller set of users, uh, whereas the other ones tend to have a much larger and stuff. So I do have a spreadsheet that talks about these types of things. It gives some numbers. I would say it's more generalized information. It's from ChatGPT, so I can't vouch for how accurate the information is. But ChatGPT put together the numbers based on what it would expect based on the types of, you know, types of content, the types of users, and those kinds of things. It put that into the spreadsheet, gave me the data that I put into the spreadsheet. So you can check that out if you want. And it may give you a better idea of what types of content, when to post, those kinds of things. But it's just really a guideline. It's all over the place depending on where your target demographic is. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind with posting on social media. But the best strategy, I would say, is if you're trying to post on social media and advertise for free, is post stuff that is quality content, stuff that people want to see, something that they enjoy. Maybe it gives them a laugh. Maybe it's something cute that they want to share with their family and friends. Maybe it's just informative. Something that provides some kind of value is going to be accepted better than something that says sale or this is for sale or whatever, because people are being sold to all the time. They, see ads all the time, and so you kind of get an ad blindness where you're trying to skip past the ads, or you see an ad, it's like, oh, it's an ad, scroll past. and so you have to factor that in too when you're posting online. Especially when getting started, I would suggest that you use your personality, your values, something that's more personal, personable, I should say. Don't share your, you know, technically personal struggles. Don't share too much information. People don't need to know your personal business. And many may not even care. They're busy, thinking about themselves. That's just how the world is. Materialistic, self-centered type of thing. But in some cases, you can share some details, maybe about what inspired you to do this. Maybe some things that are so important to you, and um, some kind of stories or something like that. Something of interest, but also something that can, help them maybe with a problem that they have. Um, that's related to your business. So it's important to keep things following your brand that would be of interest to your demographic and related to whatever it is that you have to offer. Um, and so you need to also post consistently and only on the platforms where your demographic is. Don't waste your time and money and efforts on platforms that your target demographics are not on. Because chances are they won't see it, and then you're just wasting a lot of time that could be put on something else, or creating more quality content, and stuff. So, if you're going to post on a bunch of platforms, you're going to end up stretching yourself a bit too thin. It's harder to post on multiple platforms, even with tools like Hootsuite and stuff, because the different platforms have, you know, different demographics. So certain types of content may appeal to different demographics. And so you may not be able to simply just say, I'm going to publish this post on all the platforms. That doesn't quite work. It's not that effective. So what you're going to find is that you'll get more responses on certain platforms than you do on others. And so if you can focus your efforts on particular platforms, and primarily post on those, you'll find more success and kind of build up a following and you know uh, greater support with those. Okay, so tip number 3. All right, so I want to talk about something that you might not want to hear. Paid advertising is the only way to really get fast results. So just because you put a website out there, you launch a shop and you say, hey everybody, I've got an online shop now. You can go buy from me. Okay, now you may have crickets. That's the unfortunate fact. It just kind of depends. You may get a few sales, you might not. It's all gonna vary. If you really want to get results, you're gonna probably have to pay for it, especially in the beginning. Just because, search engines are not going to index your website right away. And even if they do, you maybe rank so low that nobody sees your site. You'd have to rank really on the first couple pages for people to really see you on there, and they'd have to be under the terms that would be of interest. And so, if you're wanting to get the fastest results, you're going to have to pay for like some kind of advertising, whether it's on social media or if it's on the search engines like Google or Bing. Okay. Uh, Bing and Google have different demographics and different number of users, too, and different costs. So there's different things to factor in with that. But generally speaking, and that goes the same for the social media platforms, you'll get faster results with paid advertising than without. There are a few ways that you can try and get to the top of the results, on, say, Google or something, but it doesn't always work. And it may only work for certain industries, unfortunately. So it doesn't always work in every single case. And that would be to, like, create some YouTube videos that would focus on key terms that people are looking up that maybe solve a problem, answer a question, something like that. That might be ways to kind of, get at the top of the results, but, even then, it doesn't mean that they'll buy from you. So if your ultimate goal is to get people to buy from you, you have to try to increase the, number of people to your website, and then a small percentage of that may buy from you. Might. That depends. It's going to depend on so many different factors that I won't get into here. But those are my top 3 tips for having an online store. I will give you a bonus though. If you are doing print on demand, print on demand meaning you set up, say, a shop and you have shirts or hoodies, and then you have a design printed on them. It is a super popular thing. People will not be buying from you for the product alone or at the price. They will be buying from you because they like you. Okay, so if you understand that, uh, it will help a lot. Because just because you come up with a cool design and you throw it out there and advertise it on the internet does not mean people will care or that they will buy from you. There are thousands and thousands of other sellers doing something very similar, and may have better designs than you. Or maybe they don't, but maybe people just don't trust you or they just don't care. So, um, if you're going to do the print on demand thing, you have to have a following for it to really be successful, especially in the beginning. And I've seen a lot of different online stores fail, and even my own, just because it's just not sustainable because there's not enough demand. And it requires active marketing all the time. You can't just advertise once. You have to keep going and consistently to try and get the next sale. And so that is just the fact of business. And it is highly competitive to do any kind of online store because it is the internet. The internet is full of people all trying to do similar things and all competing for a limited set of dollars uh, from people that are willing to buy online for particular things. Well, those are my 3 tips. I hope it helped you. If it did, give a like, comment below. If not, that's okay too. I just wanted to put this out there so that maybe it might help some people. Um, and remember, don't get discouraged. Know that everybody is struggling in some capacity with something, and a lot of businesses fail uh, in the first year, and some might fail within the first 5. A large majority do, but keep on trying. The only way to totally fail is if you give up. So, failure is just one more step on the way to success. So, keep on trying, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.